Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're doing well. So the fourth episode of the Gossip Girl Reboot finally got so much better. The Julie and Zoya conflict, Max spiraling out of control, and the Aki and Audrey relationship and exploration were all a vast improvement on the previous 3 episodes, which I know I was pretty harsh about in my previous episode reviews as they didn't really match the OG brilliance, but I'm pleased to say that they've taken a positive turn, which is absolutely brilliant. I also really liked how they explored the impact on the teachers of actually being Gossip Girl as well, which was so good. So well done guys, because the 4th episode of the Gossip Girl Reboot is absolutely awesome. So I thought that this episode opened up really well in terms of exploring the fact that Zoya doesn't really like her birthday because it is also the same day that her mother passed away, which is pretty dark and pretty powerful. And actually I do think that they handled this storyline really well, especially the dagger that Julian, Luna and Monet put into Zoya later on in this episode. Speaking of which, it was also really nice to see a bit of motivation coming from Luna and from Monet in terms of the reason that they want Julian to be back on top is because they get to benefit from the perks of her being on top as well. I also do feel like this on again off again friendship of the two sisters is actually mirroring a lot of Serena and Blair, except this time it has a bit of a new dynamic as actually they're half sisters. I also did really like the fact that they were giving more screen time to the parents of Zoya and Julian, and that we also got to explore some of their backstory. I mean, they don't have the same calculating or manipulative nature as Lily or Eleanor did, but at the same time it's really great to see a bit more of them nonetheless. Even though Lola was only really in the beginning first scene of this episode, I'm already really intrigued by this character as she was really into Julian's free gifts and the fact that this would help her out with her music career and the benefits that Julian has from being a top influencer. So I wonder whether she is actually with Julian's father for genuine reasons or if she actually is a little bit of a gold digger, which I'm sure they'll be exploring in the next couple of episodes. We also got to see the aftermath of Max's meddling in his parents' relationship from the previous episode, this time too, which was absolutely brilliant. He really did go off the rails and truly into the arms of the Rafa character, which I thought was really well written. It's a real shame that none of his other self-obsessed friends were interested in his well-being though, especially as this friendship group is supposed to have been together for quite a few years. Speaking of aftermath, I also thought that the way that they handled the Aki and Audrey relationship was really great in terms of the fact that they were both cheating on the same person, namely Max. I did feel like Audrey getting a bit angry at him and seeing what she is capable of when she really is able to channel her inner Blair Waldorf on the Met steps was absolutely brilliant, but then she shifted this anger into actually helping him come to terms with his sexuality, which I thought really did show what a great friend she is towards him. That's the shame though that they weren't able to channel this towards the Max character, however. I feel like Julian and Zoya really did return back to centre stage this week after having a little bit of an off week last week where they weren't that prominent. Them having a bit of a sibling rivalry in the world of Gossip Girl I think is great and really does have so much potential. Like I said before, Luna and Monet also got a bit more better in this episode as well. I know people want to see a lot more from them and for them to have a lot more screen time and for the audience to find out a lot more about them, which would be great, but I also kind of like the mysteriousness around these two characters and having the audience just being really curious about them without knowing them on the same level as the other characters. But either way, it was really nice to kind of see a bit more from them and for us to know about their motivation for getting Julian back on top is mainly because they want to reap the benefits of them also being on top by association. That being said, Julian definitely isn't as ruthless as the previous Queen Bees were, namely Blair Waldorf, Serena van der Woodsen, and also Jenny. When she was queen, she was also a lot more ruthless than Julian has ever been. Obi genuinely does feel like all of the annoying parts of Nate Archibald and Dan Humphrey meshed into one character at the moment. I mean, he was so judgmental and so vanilla right now, and they really do need to make this character so much better, especially as this actor is actually pretty well accomplished. I mean, he's had a role in Wrath of Man, the brilliant film, and the Perfectionist TV series, so this character and actor definitely can rise to the challenge. They just need to do a bit more better writing than him just being a bit of a nice guy character with Zoya. I also absolutely love the fact that they reintroduced Georgina Sparks' son Milo into this world and made him just like his mother in terms of being a true schemer. After all, he was the first child from the original series when Georgina was pretending that Dan Humphrey was his father. So I think it's really great that they've literally linked the old show together with the new show through this one main character, and I thought this was a really, really great touch and a really great connection back to the original series. But I have to say, I did think it was really strange that Georgina had a big portrait of Blair Waldorf in her apartment, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Max spiraling out of control I thought was really, really great this episode, and really showed how versatile Thomas Doherty is as an actor. I did think that they could have pushed this a little bit further though, but clearly in this episode they just wanted to show the consequence of him meddling in his parents' relationship, and like I said before, throwing him into the arms of the Rafa character. Finally, with Audrey and Aki, whilst I do think Audrey is the most understanding friend ever, similarly to Max, I definitely think they could have pushed her reaction and her anger so much further in terms of finding out the fact that her boyfriend is cheating on somebody else. Like I've said in my previous 3 episodic reviews, I really do feel like this character could be so much better, and it just feels like they're kind of holding her back at the moment, because like I said, she could be absolutely brilliant, but it just seems to me like they're just using her as part of the Aki confusion about his sexuality storyline, which is fine, but equally just give her more meaty material to work with, as Emily Alyn Lind is arguably the most successful actress out of the entire cast. I love the fact that they were showing what it was like for the Kate character to have her own goals and opportunities outside of being the main person behind the Gossip Girl account, but when she was trying to pull herself away from it, the audience could really see how addictive being Gossip Girl is, and actually I think that they showed this addiction really, really well. It was also really nice to see the role of Gossip Girl being shared with the other 3 teachers, and to see what it was like for a different teacher to be running this account, and then to also see the impact that this then has on the Kate character, who usually is the main person behind the Gossip Girl account. And like I've said in all 3 of my previous episode reviews, actually I really, really do love the fact that the teachers are the masterminds behind the Gossip Girl account. So I thought that the 4th episode of the Gossip Girl reboot was so much better than the previous 3 episodes. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it will be like for the Zoya character to really be integrated into this group with the privileged kids in the next episode, and I wonder whether it's going to have a similar impact to the Zoya character like it did on the Jenny Humphrey character. I always just want excellent storytelling and really deep character development, and this episode actually delivered on both of those. It's not yet at the brilliance level of the original series, but it's definitely getting there in its own new special way. So those are my thoughts on the 4th episode of the latest Gossip Girl series of this reboot. Let me know what you thought of episode 4 in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. XOXO.